afternoon from Los Angeles, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. On today's show, we're going to be taking a look at the charts of Novacure as well as Insulet and Match Group. But first, we want to take a look at the major indexes. It's Alyssa Corum here with Ken Shreve. And Ken, we did see strong gains across the board today. The Russell 2000 Small Cap Index outpacing the gains, up about 1.3% for the day, but really a strong showing across the board. We're just continuing to move skyward in this market.
Yeah, and we strengthened during the final hour of trading, so it looks like we're going to get a close near highs with small caps really doing the heavy lifting today. It looks like we had with the Nasdaq ended with a gain of 1%, so it got close to the Russell 2000, but we decided to take a look at a chart of the Russell 2000 tracking ETF IWM, and you can see the bullish move it made today. So fresh highs for the S&P 500, Dow,
right.
Nasdaq, Russell, just continuing.
Yeah, and it's encouraging to see the Russell outperform here because, as we know, it broadly speaking has been underperforming, but it's now back to its highest level since October 2018. So one could argue it's knocking on the door of getting into new high territory too.
Yeah, and it's there's been some volume behind the move in the IWM in recent days. So all in all, this is really the bulls are right in the sweet spot here, and we had more great individual action in stocks as well.
Yeah, that's right. We're continuing to see breakouts in this market, with Novacure among them, gaining about 12% today in heavy turnover, and it climbed above a cup with handle buy point. Now it's not quite at its all-time highs, but this was a really strong move today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, this was a recent feature in the New America, and it was also today's stock of the day at investors.com. But this is a company that uses electricity to basically interrupt the growth of cancerous tumor cells. Really bullish move today. You actually had a little breakout over a trend line. After it broke out over a trend line, it cleared a buy point of 90.10, and now it's flirting with a prior high around 94. So this was just an exceptionally bullish move. I think it was earlier this week the company gave pretty bullish sales guidance, and when you look at annual earnings estimates, you can see on the Market Smith chart triple-digit earnings increases expected this year and next. So a lot to like about Novacure.
Yeah, that's right. And elsewhere in the medical product space, we are continuing to keep an eye on Insulet, ticker PODD. This one also breaking out up about 2.4% today, extending its gains. This is a weekly chart here, so we've seen two really strong weeks in a row here. But I guess the question with this breakout is we're not quite seeing the volume yet behind the move.
Yeah, it's been a low volume move so far. Good solid close for Insulet. This is a company that makes wireless insulin infusion systems. We've been talking a lot about these diabetes stocks on IBD Live. So, a good breakout today over a 187.35 buy point. We were talking about triple-digit annual earnings estimates.
Right.
This is for actually Insulet and not Novacure. I said it mistakenly for Novacure, but it's Insulet that is showing the triple-digit annual earnings estimates for this year and next. But like I said, a good breakout over a 187.35 buy point. It's still in buy range here. Volume has been a bit lackluster, but we've seen plenty of low volume breakouts recently that have had some staying power. So we'll give this one the benefit of the doubt for now.
Yeah, that's right. And like I mentioned, a very strong industry group, this medical products space right now, with a couple of other names looking good as well, including Repligen. But for a fuller look at leading stocks, make sure you are checking out IBD Live for in-depth discussions. But last but not least, let's take a look at Match Group, because this one is also carving out the right side of a base. Another weekly chart here. It's trading about 3% below all-time highs. I guess the question here, Ken, for me is this is a bit of a deeper base than the last two chart patterns and breakouts that we saw for the stock.
Well, so the deep pullback that we recently saw for this, as the left side of the base took shape, it did actually serve to reset the base count. So while it may look a bit deep, it did reset the base count. So if it does try to break out here, it would be a breakout from an early stage base. That's good. good. The other thing, at the bottom of the base, there's this big down week where the stock actually closed up near its high. Then it shows some tight closes after that. So right at the bottom of the base here, it did show some pretty constructive price action. So I think this one's worth giving the benefit of the doubt to as well. It has worked its way higher. It is just kind of a a deepish cup-shaped base, and maybe we might see a little handle area form here before it attempts a breakout. But pretty good fundamentals at Match Group. Of course, this is the parent company of sort of the bellwether dating site Match.com, and they also Tinder and OkCupid. So it's really the leader in the online dating space, and that is still a very fast-growing industry.
All right, well, another one for everyone to keep an eye on. All right, well, that's it for today's show, but we have more analysis for you in this week's Investing with IBD podcast. Our very own Justin Nielsen and Arusha Pierce went over 4 stocks that are potential long-term leaders, and they also outlined IBD's upcoming long-term leaders list. So for all that, make sure you're checking out investors.com/podcast. And we also have a webinar coming up next Wednesday, Ken, with Justin and Chris. For the details on that, you can check out investors.com/webinar. And the bulls really are running, aren't they?
They are, and I know the focus of this webinar is going to be the IBD 50, and of course our Innovator 50 IBD 50 ETF, ticker FFTY, has really kicked into gear as growth stocks stay in favor here. So we'll be talking about the IBD 50 list of leading growth stocks.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow.